Coming up, several people are recognized for the work they did 1 year ago during a major flood.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. A little more than 1 year ago, parts of eastern Kentucky were devastated by historic flooding. WYMT's Zach Hawk was with some of the disaster responders as they gathered in Breathitt County tonight to be recognized for the work they have done and continue to do.
All applause for disaster responders from across eastern Kentucky. The reception hosted at the UK Robinson Center Auditorium brings together health and EMS workers, first responders, the faith community and churches, government officials, and volunteer groups. Congressman Hal Rogers shared a message with the group, delivered by Andrea Begley.
The people of the mountains are resilient. We love and we care for one another. You are a light to the rest of the world. I applaud you for the incredible work that has been completed over this past year.
The immediate aftermath of last year's flooding left some areas completely underwater, stranding people. Chief John May of the Wolfe County Search and Rescue Team went out for them and recalls the level of urgency they felt.
You know, it's something like you would see in a hurricane down in Katrina. You know, we were going through streets trying to navigate to this house by street signs. Lights were still on in the home, so it kind of made you a little concerned about, you know, is the water energized possibly from electricity?
Jane Marie Wicks with the National Weather Service out of Jackson remembers how the storms exceeded their worst fears.
The flooding of 2021 was the costliest weather disaster in Kentucky's history, totaling between $350 and $400 million, according to FEMA.
However, she adds that it could have been much worse.
But thanks to the forecasters, education, and the selfless efforts of you all who I'm speaking to, 0 lives were lost.
Event organizers say they plan to have a second reception sometime later this year. In Breathitt County, Zach Hawk, WYMT Mountain News.
The reception Tuesday evening focused on disaster responders from Breathitt, Wolfe, Perry, Lee, and Owsley counties. Well, here's something everyone in the U.S. Senate can agree on: an extra hour of sunlight. The chamber passed a measure that would make daylight saving time permanent and get rid of setting clocks back in the fall. It passed with bipartisan support unanimously. Republican Senator Marco Rubio from Florida sponsored the Sunshine Protection Act, but here's the thing. He says he doesn't know if the House will take it up. That would, of course, be necessary before President Joe Biden could sign it into law. If it does happen, the change would not go into effect until next November because transportation schedules have already been built out until then.
I personally, fan of standard time. Our weather models come in a little bit faster. It makes my job a little bit easier. Though it will be nice to see daylight a little bit later on into the day. No daylight out there right now, though. It's 11 o'clock, or just after. We're shrouded in darkness. And that's not just because of, obviously, the sun has set, but also because we're starting to deal with a few clouds pushing through the region this evening. A look at from the London Corbin Airport shows all is quiet on the runway, but you can kind of see the city lights reflecting in the clouds there in the distance. It's because those clouds are getting lower. Downtown Whitesburg, all quiet on Main Street. Low to middle 40s, or middle and upper 40s, I should say, out there this evening. This afternoon, pretty nice. Middle and upper 60s for daytime highs just about everywhere. Our only exception, Wise. You guys only got it to about 59. Temperatures remaining variable at this hour. Some near 60, in the middle 50s. Others already in the low 40s. Monticello at 43, it's 48. Jackson, Jacksboro, and 46 in Middlesboro. So we're slowly cooling things down throughout the night. Clouds continue to increase as we head through the overnight hours. And a look to our south, that's what's slowly heading in our direction. A big swirling area of low pressure across portions of the Mississippi River Valley, pushing slowly in our direction. That's why we've got a few shower chances late tonight. Outside of the cloud cover that will be with us, low 40s for overnight lows. I'll have the very latest on when we could see the showers really move in coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
Evan, thank you. A Richmond man is facing charges after he was arrested claiming to be President Joe Biden. Joshua Riddle is facing charges of public intoxication, resisting arrest, and disorderly conduct. Employees at Dough Daddy's Donuts say Riddle was cussing at customers and causing a disturbance. Madison County deputies say they tried to arrest Riddle, at one point even pulling out a taser. While trying to arrest him, deputies say Riddle claimed to be President Biden and the president of Hell's Angels. Another arrest was made at the Corbin Police Department. Officers say Robert Trabish of Williamsburg came into the department's lobby and began screaming at the reception window before shoving a sweatshirt through the mail drawer. Police quickly detained Trabish in front of City Hall as he was about to leave. Officers determined he was under the influence of alcohol and was charged with terroristic threatening and public intoxication. Tuesday morning, Congressman Hal Rogers introduced new legislation that would fast-track black lung benefits for former coal miners. The John J.L. White Ensuring Timely Black Lung Benefits Act is named in memory of a coal miner who died before seeing the benefits he was approved for. The bill would ensure former coal miners who meet federal medical eligibility can begin receiving payment 60 days after approval. Jonna White Robinson is the daughter of J.L. White, and she says her father would have been honored by the bill. She also said her father would have loved to be the knife that cut through the red tape. The Kentucky Board of Education has approved changes to regulations on corporal punishment in schools. The restriction was first passed back in December, requiring schools to get written and verbal consent from parents before paddling a student, followed by counseling. The KBE says there have been 15 instances of corporal punishment used this school year, up 2 from December. Right now, the board does not have the authority to ban corporal punishment altogether, but a bill was filed back in January in the House that would ban it. Kentucky lawmakers are considering legislation to protect abused animals while saving taxpayer money. Kentucky currently ranks 45th in the nation for worst animal protection laws. The cost of care bill recently passed by the Senate aims to change that. Now the decision is up to the House. If passed, many believe this could improve animal cruelty laws in the future. Grayson Passmore has more from the Capitol.
So there are really only two choices.
The cost of care bill would make those who have animals seized from their possession during cruelty cases responsible for paying for the animal's care.
The one choice is taxpayers, county agencies, animal care agencies like shelters and rescues, or the other option is the owner. And so under the status quo, the way it is in Kentucky right now, it's the first of those two options.
Kentucky State Director of the Humane Society, Todd Blevins, says a cost of care law allows agencies to petition the court to say the owner, who has allegedly abused their animals, should pay for their care. In 2018, a cat hoarding case cost Lexington taxpayers more than $100,000.
You know, no matter if you believe in individual responsibility or if you're an animal lover, there are a whole lot of reasons to agree that it should be the owner who should be paying for those costs and not taxpayers like you and me.
Blevins says if the cost of care bill is passed, he hopes it sets a precedent going forward. He says one of the reasons that Kentucky ranks so low nationally in terms of existing animal cruelty laws is a pretty surprising one.
Is that if someone is convicted of animal abuse, in a lot of other states, there are conditions about them owning animals again in the future.
But not in Kentucky.
And that's something that the cost of care bill addresses as well, to say that if someone is convicted of a crime against animals, that there may be conditions imposed by a judge on them owning animals in the future.
At the Capitol, Grayson Passmore, WKYT.
Blevins says the bill is currently in the House waiting on a committee assignment. A bill to legalize sports betting in Kentucky could go up for a vote tomorrow in the House Licensing, Occupations, and Administrative Regulations Committee. State lawmaker Adam Koenig filed a set of bills to allow wagering and address gambling addiction. He says Kentucky misses out on millions of dollars when people gamble illegally or when they travel to states that have legal sports betting. A recent poll says just a quarter of Kentuckians oppose legal sports betting. That group includes the Family Foundation. Leaders there say legalization would hurt Kentucky families and increase poverty. The Kentucky women's basketball team won their first SEC championship in 40 years this past weekend. In 1982, Harlan County native Lynette Lewis Shadone played on the last championship team. Lynette says she knew she wanted to play basketball for Kentucky at a young age, going to every camp they put on just to get her name out there. And eventually it paid off.
Spring, early summer, I had not committed anywhere. Nothing had been offered here at Kentucky. And out of the blue, I got a call from Debbie Yao. And she said, Lynette, I want you to play for me. She said, I don't have any scholarships left this year, but I can scholarship you next year if you will walk on the team.
Lynette is still very involved in Kentucky women's basketball and believes they can win it all this year. Well, we want to remind you about Hoops Hysteria on WYMT.com and your chance to play our NCAA men's tournament bracket game. You can also compete against some of the WYMT staff and also win a 55-inch smart TV, a PlayStation 5, and 2 recliners. A $1 million prize will be awarded nationally if someone correctly picks all 63 games. You have until 15 minutes before the first game on Thursday, March 17th to sign up. Well, get ready to get her done. Larry the Cable Guy is coming to the Barnyard. His Remain Seated tour is set to stop in Sharpsburg on May 20th for one show only. You may know him from the Blue Collar Comedy Tour or his Netflix comedy special with Jeff Foxworthy. The show is scheduled for 7 p.m. with John Reap as the opening act. The Barnyard is located off Kentucky 36 in Bath County. Coming up at 11, many families have loved ones dealing with cognitive impairment, and a new report is revealing startling numbers about how many more will be affected. And a health checkup event is held for retired teachers in Kentucky.
And we've got a few showers returning to the forecast as weak system heads our way, but it shouldn't hurt those nice temperatures at all. I've got the very latest on the way.
Imagine yourself in a new Toyota.
Wow.